certified driving instructor. I teach teens and adults. Let's go ahead and get it. New driver advice. A lot of beginning drivers, and many of you who are subscribed and looking into this information, you do a lot of light traffic light driving. What does this mean? You're going in your neighborhood. You're going in your neighborhood to your high school. You're going to your high school to your job. You're going from your high school to grandma's house or your cousin's house, and then you're coming back home. You're not doing real high intensity and high volume traffic until you feel comfortable. If you're new and you want to learn, this is for you. I'm a certified driving instructor. I teach teens and adults. I'm in the Midwest. I have over 24 years of experience. So we want to get you prepared so you do a good job. Next, I need you to watch others while they drive. You're watching your mom. You're watching your dad. You're watching people in your community. You are watching my content. And if you really want to learn, you will subscribe to the content because that's a bigger commitment and time because I post a lot, I go live a lot, but you're going to learn a lot. So when you watch other people learn how to drive, you learn how to hold the steering wheel. State Farm and also AAA, they recommend that you hold the steering wheel at 7 and 5 because this gives you a more secure view and control of the steering wheel. We always want to look at scholarly sources and peer review articles. I always want to give you the best information I can as an instructor to help you drive. There's more than one way to hold the steering wheel. There is 9 and 3. There's 10 and 2. There's 7 and 5. You have to drive it a way that is comfortable for you to drive, to hold the steering wheel. You're going to be learning from me because you're going to be looking at my content. You're going to be watching your mom. You're going to be watching your dad. You're going to be watching your siblings. You're going to be playing driver's education games. So you want to have an open mind and follow what works for you because we're all different. Next, you need to continue to study. Beginning drivers confuse yield and right of way. Yield means you slow down and allow other cars to go by. Right of way, there are actual rules. Example, when you come up to a stop sign, the car on the right has the right of way. If two cars come together at the same time, the car that arrives first goes the right of way. I will be getting into more detail about rules of the right of way, and if you have questions, you need to be typing those questions in. If this is bringing you value, give it a thumbs up. Next, use the big 5 strategies when you drive. I'm going to go through each of those strategies. I'm going to help you understand. And by me taking the time to go live on a Sunday evening after I've done 10 hours of driving, teaching adults and teens how to drive, I take the time out of my day to help you learn how to drive because I want you to be successful. I want you to live your best authentic life, and I want you to do a good job. That's what good instructors do. They're positive. They don't compare you to anyone else. They allow you to learn from your mistakes. Let's talk about these big 5 things. First, concentrate. No phone, no text. I know what you're saying. I can't drive without my phone. You need to put your phone down and focus on driving. Next, look while you're turning. What does this mean? If I'm turning left, I turn my head to the left. If I'm turning right, I turn my head to the right. If you're backing up, you turn your head and look out of your back window. We can't always rely on a backup camera. I have to tell you a true story. I was driving some of my clients today. We went to a very large national road testing facility that has been in the States for over 14 years. A gentleman could not do his parallel park maneuver because he was looking in his backup camera. He was literally looking where the backup camera would be. He was looking where the backup camera to be. All my students who are in their 5th or 6th or 7th drive sit, he's not going to pass. You need to look over your shoulder and look at that deepest cone. By the way, I did a road test tutorial. I did post some of those elements. I'll be editing that video tonight, getting it out to you as soon as possible, where I was actually at a road test facility by myself. I set up the cones with permission, and I went through the actual road test step by step by step, getting out of the car, showing you what I did right, what I did wrong, and keeping 100% pure and truthful. Because if you take the time to listen to me, and hopefully you do, and hopefully you subscribe, I'm going to tell you the truth. I'm like your uncle. I'm going to make you laugh. So I was parallel parking. The car was a little bit sideways. I got out, but I still passed. I was doing the reverse park. I got out. My car was 100% straight, but I still passed. So you don't have to be perfect on the test. Going back to this young man who failed his park, he paid $75. He went in, he filled out all the paperwork. He did the first one fine, where you pull up to the stop line and stop. No problem. His car wasn't over the stop line. It was parked between the broken white line and the actual stop line. It's a simulation. He did fine. He did the reverse park, but he came in at a weird wide angle. Did okay there. Struggled. I knew from him looking, and I'm pretending I'm looking down at my backup camera, he wasn't going to make it. My beginning drivers also said, he's not going to make it. So we were patient. We weren't hating. We were telling the truth. And by us showing you real life, you'll say, you know what? Thank you for showing me this. So he was trying to parallel park. As a result, he kept going back and forth. You're welcome. She did awesome. She did awesome. I'm not going to lie.
All right. You're welcome. We appreciate you.
I appreciate you too.
So what happens now? What's part 2?
You're going to see me in October.
In October?
3 months.
For segment 2.
You'll have me for segment 2. 3 months she drives with you guys. Okay, here's what's going to happen. You have to go, in about a week, you're going to get a digital certificate. You have to take her to Secretary of State, birth certificate, Social Security card, a couple of pieces of identification, parent or guardian. She takes a vision test. She's going to get a vertical license. It's going to be her permit.
Oh, so she does get her permit now.
Yes, they're going to, at the Secretary of State. 5 or 10 years ago, she still has to go to Secretary of State. She's going to have to drive 3 consecutive months. So that's looking at beginning of October, middle of October. She's got to have 30 hours in 3 months, and some of those hours have to be at night. Okay? You'll get all the paperwork at the DMV, and they'll tell you everything you need to do. All the paperwork is at the main office. So they're going to open it up and start processing everything tomorrow. So it could be 3 days. It could be a week. You're going to get your digital certificate by email.
With the email, I register with her?
Yes.
Okay. And then, when does she do segment 2?
It's about 3 months from now. So August, let's say September, October, somewhere around November or December, when she gets her 30 hours in 3 months.
Okay. She'll drive in the snow, which is good.
Yes, she'll drive in everything.
Then what do you do segment 2?
Segment 2 is crash avoidance, defensive driving, gift of life, alcohol awareness. We'll look at statistics of why young drivers crash, die. Distraction is the number one thing. And then they'll learn about the gift of life. Here in our state, you sign the form, gift of life.
Okay. And then what happens after segment 2?
Segment 2, when she turns 16 and has 50 hours of driving, she can apply to, she'll have segment 2, then she can take her road test when she has 50 hours of driving and she's been on segment 2 at least 3 months. So it's all designed, you, the guardian, need to drive her.
We're fine with that.
I know you are.
My husband does it.
Drive her.
Yes. You have the piece of paper from the Secretary of State.
Yep. The email should come 3 days, 5 days, 7 days, 10. There are thousands of kids in the state who are being processed right now. It's now a digital system, so it goes faster. I know, I feel the same way.
Well, thank you.
God bless you. Bye. Bye. So that's real. You heard me explain that. Your parents have to be involved. And if your mom and dad are not involved, you won't get your hours. If your mom and dad don't take a moment to invest in you, you won't get your hours. You won't be confident. What's up, Jackson? I got your message on Instagram. We'll talk. I'll send you some more information. Jackson, thank you for being awesome. Thank you for supporting. I really appreciate you. So, guys, you heard me. I was talking to grandma. I was talking to mom. If your parents or guardians don't get you out driving, you're going to forget everything you learned from me. You're going to forget everything that you've seen on the channel, and you're going to go back to zero. You're going to be hesitating to pull out in traffic. And this leads me into new driver advice. Beginning drivers don't judge distance properly. So here's what's going to happen. Let's pretend you don't drive for 3 months. You're going to be rusty. You know how to drive, but you haven't been driving. Same thing with me. Let's pretend that I don't go live for 3 months. I'm going to be hesitant. I'm going to be nervous. I won't be smiling because I'm real and I'm passionate. Grandma was talking to me. Mom was talking to me. I got to answer. You see the look in my face? I got to answer them, right? I got to know what I'm talking about. Every state is different. So beginning drivers don't judge distance and space very well. So what's going to happen? You're going to pull out in front of a car, scare your mom. Oh, I'm not driving you. She's your daughter. You take her. Mother, mother, can you take out your granddaughter? Why? She's your granddaughter. I had to work a double shift. You're always working. I'm the only one taking her out. So what's going to happen is you're not the number one priority. And if you're not the number one priority, you will be pushed to second or third place. You will only drive once a week. One of my students did the mathematics. You need an hour and a half per week to get 30 hours in 3 months. Every state is different. Some people need 50 hours, 60 hours, 70 hours. So you need to check your local DMV, Department of Motor Vehicles, and see what they need so you can get what you need to basically be ready for your test. Because if you're not ready for your test and you're not ready for segment 2, most driver said locations, most Department of Motor Vehicles have a segment 2. Why? A lot of young people were dying and kids were losing their lives and people were on the phone. Don't you realize now we have more states and countries coming on board to get off the cell phone? And people are seriously looking for adults and kids who are on the phone who are driving distracted. They have distraction driving campaigns. They have no seatbelt campaigns. So if you're going to be one to drive without your seatbelt on, you're probably going to get a ticket. You're going to be one to drive with you on your phone all the time, you're going to get a ticket. You're going to be one to drive aggressively, you are going to get a ticket. If you want to be one of those kids or young adults or middle-aged adults or older adults who do drive distracted on the phone, you're going to get a ticket. It doesn't matter if you're old or young, white or black, Filipino, Chaldean, Middle Eastern, they're looking for distracted drivers. Every month, police agencies and governmental agencies work together to put together campaigns to reduce drunk driving, to reduce aggressive driving, distracted driving. You go to one of those small communities you will be ticketed. Mark my word. Let's continue talking about advice for new drivers. And as you heard, I was answering real life questions so you know that I'm real. Safe driving, drive safe with speed for the conditions. If it's heavy traffic, reduce your speed. Tomorrow when I go live, I'll have the proper safety devices in. I'll have the camera mounted. I will go live driving to work. I'll narrate it. I'll talk about it. Both of my hands will be on the wheel. So you can understand and see what is rush hour traffic like. Why does he get cut off? What lane should I be in? You should be in the middle lane. The middle lane is the smooth lane. If you're to the left lane, you're going to have to go way over the speed limit. If you're in the right lane, you're going to get cut off by cars and trucks merging on. So I take the time in the morning to go live, get fuel, go live, show you what to do. And during the afternoon, if I have time, I go live, I tell you what you need to do so you can learn. If this is bringing you value, give it a thumbs up. Let's continue new driver advice. Have a lot of room when pulling out onto traffic. Beginning drivers misjudge distance. You're probably saying, oh, that's easy. No, it's not. I know what to do. Oh, you do? Okay, let's drive to downtown Detroit. Let's drive to downtown Houston, Texas. Let's drive to downtown Los Angeles, California. You don't know what to do. You think you know what to do, but you're going to tailgate. You're going to get cut off. You're going to actually have to learn how to read road signs, use your blinker and mirrors, look over your shoulder to your blind spot. I'm looking over my shoulder to my right, checking my right blind spot, looking over my left shoulder, checking my left blind spot. If you can't multitask, why are you pretending you're driving? You're not. You're just saying you're driving, but you're not really driving, because drivers get on main thoroughfares that take you into the city, out of the city, into the country, out of the country. You are taking the time to listen to me because I'm in the United States. I'm in the Midwest. I'm a state certified instructor. You heard me talk to grandma. You heard me talk to mom. My voice didn't change. You got to put in your hours. Your parents have to be involved. If they're not involved, you're going to be at level 1 or level 2 much longer. If you're over 21 and you don't have a coach, you don't have your hours, you won't be prepared for your road test. You need to listen to what I'm saying. We saw a young man, 18 to 25, fail his road test because he was looking in his backup camera. Oh, I can use your backup camera. So what? The backup camera just gives you the back angle. You need to look over your right shoulder, right and left. He failed because he could not get the car in a 45-degree angle with cones. He kept going back and forth, back and forth. He kept turning the wheel. Every turn is a minus. He turned the wheel 7 times. We counted, and he failed. Do you really think I want you to fail? Do you really think I'm wasting your time talking to you? No, because if you know that I'm serious and I'm bringing you value, you're going to subscribe. Well, why do I have to subscribe? Because you're going to get the latest information. You're going to get notified at least 3 times. You might catch something a year from now, a month from now. I'm always getting new content, new ideas to help you. I will be getting a gimbal. That's going to elevate my content. I'm going to get another camera. That's going to elevate my content. I'm editing more with more sounds, more views. That's going to elevate the content. And you're going to say, you know what? I gotta subscribe. I gotta look at this video because he's helping me. And that's why I do this. You heard me talk to grandma. You heard me talk to mom. I'm telling you what you have to do. Don't scare your parents. Next, new drivers don't judge speed and distance very well. You're going to pull out in front of a car. You're going to go too slow merging on the expressway. You're going to make a left turn and hit the brake instead of the gas. I'm in a driver's ed car. I have a mirror and a passenger side mirror because we're in a driver's ed car. I have an extra brake just in case you hit the gas too hard. I'm having a real conversation with you. We're not being fake. I'm not in some virtual studio. I'm in the driver's education car. And this is my natural habitat. You think about that. This is my natural habitat. Next, new drivers don't judge distance and speed very well. They need a lot of verbal instruction and time to process. If your mom and dad say, okay, let's go to Chicago. How do I get to Chicago? Let's go to downtown Houston. How do I get to the expressway? Let's go to downtown Los Angeles, California. How do I get there? Let's go to Ontario. How do I get there? You've only been in the metro area. You haven't been on the interstate. You don't know. But many of you leave comments, you act like you know, but you don't know. This is a serious conversation about driver's ed. I'm not here playing with you, dropping funny sound effects, honking a horn. This is real life in a driver's education car. And if you make a mistake, an error would be overturning the wheel, going over the curb, automatic failure. An error would be you can't parallel park because you keep looking in a backup camera and you should be looking over your shoulder. And the tester did the right thing. She stepped back and could not tell the person what to do. That's real. Don't take your road test if you are not ready. Again, don't take your road test if you're not ready. But many of you aren't listening to me. You're just here playing. I'm telling you the real. People pass and fail their road test every day. Oh, it's easy. You just have to drive. If you learn to drive fast and over the limit, you get one warning. Speeding is an automatic failure. If you make a right turn on red and there's a sign that says no right turn on red, you fail. If you run a yellow light that's getting ready to turn red, dangerous maneuver, you fail. If you merge onto the expressway and you don't look over your shoulder and you cut off a car, dangerous maneuver, you fail. What don't you guys understand? I'm telling you the truth on this, okay? And when I explain this to you, I have information. I'm a state certified driving instructor. I have information that I read from. I explain these situations to you. I'm not making up some random stuff and commenting, oh, this is a road test. They just failed. I prepare people for the road test. I get them ready so they don't look foolish and go back and forth and turn the wheel 7 to 10 times and fail. The road tester came out, showed them what they were doing, and walked back into the office. My students and I said, yep, they failed. And we waited 3 minutes, 4 minutes, 5. We waited. So when you see this content, this is real. This is not some video that was recommended by the algorithm that's 2 years old. The one thing I want to do as your content creator, I want to keep producing fresh, new content all the time. You have so much to binge watch. You want to learn about road tests? It's road tests. You want to learn about reverse parallel parking? It's reverse parallel parking. You want to learn how to drive on expressway in heavy traffic? You better be watching my lives, and then I edit them down to shorts, reels, TikToks, and then I distribute this. Then I have a podcast where I'm interviewing clients. I'm keeping it real, and I'm learning to grow and elevate to bring you good content. That's what good content creators do. I want you to get better. How long does the driving test take in the US? It would take about 45 minutes. Are you talking about the time actually to take the test? 45 minutes. But this young man, he was done in less than 10 minutes because he couldn't park. And then his mom got back into the car, shook him up, and he got over to the passenger side. I wish you could have seen that. My phone was not working right. That's real life. And you're going to see more real life tests. So you say to yourself, wow. Now, it depends on your age. Every third-party tester is different. Some are faster, some are slower, but it's about 45 minutes. It's the same in the UK. What you said. You get a couple minors, couple majors, you blow through a roundabout, you don't have clutch control, you failed. And I love watching the UK content, and they're strict. The UK is strict too, right? Always putting in work. And when you work, you get elevated. Let's continue. So we're talking about the road test. Don't scare the tester. Don't scare your parents. New drivers don't judge distance and speed very well. You've got to practice. New drivers need a lot of verbal instruction. They appear that they can drive, but they can't do maneuvers. They struggle in roundabouts. They struggle in junctions. Why do you think content creators, we're about to go into a junction? Here's a triple roundabout. It's very confusing. We have the same thing here in the United States. We have roundabouts too. The UK is no different. The UK has smaller roads. We have larger roads. The UK drives manuals. We drive automatics. So we're comparing the UK to the United States. Australia and India and the UK drive on the left. We here in the United States, we drive on the right. You think about that. Our steering wheel's on the left in the United States. Most of our vehicles are automatic. In the UK, most of their vehicles are manuals. They drive, the steering wheel's on the right. What is so hard about that? Many of you struggle so much. It comes down to you studying, your teacher, test preparation. And if you want me to do more test prep, a vlog style, day in the life, me getting up, preparing, I can do that. You need to let me know, what do you need me to do? And then I can make it happen, because I have some resources, and it's about driver's education, and it's about making you better. Let's continue. Don't assume they know what they're doing yet. Beginning drivers don't know what they're doing yet. Are you listening to me? Beginning drivers don't know what they're doing yet. Let's continue. I'm going to go over some elements of the test, and I'm preparing you right now. Final road skills evaluation. This is when you put your questions in. The following dangerous maneuvers will result in an automatic fail. Let's get right into it. Teacher intervention to maintain vehicle control. What does this mean? You're making a right turn, you cut it too short, you're getting ready to hit a stop sign. I got to turn the wheel. Automatic failure. Disobey regulatory signs. You blow a stop sign. Automatic failure. Next, speeding 10 or more over the limit. Automatic failure. Sounds very similar to the UK. Next, dangerous maneuver. You cut off a car making a left turn. You fail to look over your shoulder. Automatic failure. Next, you strike an object. Duh. I know, I sound, okay. You as a driver need to understand what I'm saying. I'm giving you real life information, but it's not in the car. I can't see it. This is your classroom and car lesson right now. Okay? Then when we get everything set up, different cameras, different angles, I'll show you. I have content like that when I do director's view. So failure to yield. People are walking across the street. You cut off a pedestrian. Automatic failure. Now you wasted your mom and dad's money. They're shaking their head and crying again because you failed your road test a second time. Time. Next, stopping and starting skills. Pre-driving skills. Do you come in and put on your seatbelt? Do you adjust your center mirror to frame the rear window? Are you adjusting your driver's side? Are you adjusting your passenger side? Do you even look in your mirrors? No. Minus. A fault. Next, do you have smooth acceleration? The client I was just with, awesome acceleration. Went through roundabouts. Merged on the expressway beautifully. Was it perfect? No. It was a pretty clean drive. Did they pass? Yes. If her mom and grandmother and dad don't take her out, she will not be on time for a segment 2 in November. She will not be ready to pass her road test when she's 16. All of you, I want to get done today. Sorry, you won't get done today. It's going to take 3 months but I don't have time. Well, I guess you don't have time to be a good driver. Do you understand what I'm saying? I'm giving you the information, but you have to apply it. Next, a controlled emergency stop. We don't normally do that here in the United States. We have a lot of deer everywhere. We have a lot of things popping up. You see those emergency stops in the UK. Stop. Bruh, am I really trying to get rear-ended? Am I really trying to burn up the tires on the driver's head car? Am I really trying to warp the rotors? No. If you need me to do emergency stops, I can do that. I don't need to be flying forward. I don't need to be damaging the equipment. Okay? Don't be fooled by people doing random stuff on other channels. I'm going to keep it real with you. You like me because I keep it real. I keep it hyped. I'm going to tell you 100%, oh man, that was dangerous. Oh, that was a good maneuver. Oh, wow, you see that car come out? You see them cut us off? You see them cut everyone off? That's road rage. Yeah. Okay? I'm in the United States. We are a different type of way than the UK. We're a different type of way than the Middle East. We're a different type of way than Australia. We're a different type of way than Asia. No hate. They're great instructors, great drivers. The United States has a different type of vibe. I'm a United States driver's education teacher. That means something. And if you're in the United States, the algorithm is pushing it out to you. Do I have people from other countries? Yes. The Middle East, Afghanistan, the UAE, okay? Many parts of Africa and Asia. I'm thankful because you take the time to listen. I will make you laugh in the shorts, in the reels, in the TikToks, all that. But at the end of the day, I'm teaching you how to drive. Can you see the passion in my eyes? Did you see me playing when I was talking to grandma and mom? Wasn't no joke, baby. Yes, ma'am. No, ma'am. Real talk. Okay? Next, visual skills. Do you identify targets? What's the target? You're driving in the neighborhood, kids are coming out. What's the target? You're driving in the main thoroughfare, cars are backing up. What's the target? You're on the expressway. Are you keeping room between cars? If you've seen some of my expressway driving content, and I'm going to show you that tomorrow when I go live, you're going to see cars cutting us off. We're traveling at the speed limit. I'm driving in the middle lane at the speed limit. I'm into the left lane at the speed limit. Cars are tailgating me, cutting me off. I'm to the right lane getting cut off, driving at the speed limit. Next, do you search 15 to 20 seconds ahead in the path of travel? Many of you don't. Well, what does that mean? You're keeping space. A truck merged out. I got space. A car merged out. I got space. A kid right in front of me. I have space. You need to be aware. Good emergency stops are good. I've done some in the wintertime. What I do on the expressway sometimes, I do an emergency motor shutdown where I deliberately shut off the car loses power, you lose power steering, everything shuts down. My students are like, holy crap, what happened? You have an emergency stop. I shift the car neutral, the car like dies. Then I make them start it up, then put it back in gear. Every instructor does a little things differently. And emergency stops are good. We have deer. Do they have deer in the UK? Do you think the UK is the only one that does emergency stops? I'm reading it right now. Controlled emergency braking. Okay? A lot of my students don't have proper shoes. Okay? So if you want me to integrate emergency braking, I will. Next, turns head to identify targets when turning. Nope. That person who was parallel parking, he didn't turn his head. He kept going backwards and forwards. Backwards, and it was really embarrassing. And we were like crying and laughing and crying, but he wasn't properly prepared. If he would have been one of my students, he would have known how to parallel park because we do parallel parking 10 to 15 times. You think about that. So he kept turning wheel left, right, minus, failed. The tester stood away the way they should. No sadness. You failed. When he tried for the next 3 minutes, she told him to put the car in park. She went over and showed him the diagram. I can't show you this. She showed him the diagram. About 10 seconds, she walked away. My girl walked back into the office. My students and I were like, yes, because he didn't know how to parallel park. And then his mom came and had some words with him. Okay? It's real. Next, do you check your mirrors regularly? My side mirror, driver's side. My passenger side, right. My center mirror. You have to check how much does a driving lesson usually cost in the US? Anywhere from $45 to $110. I recommend you get a group of 3, 5, or 7. The costs do vary. We have costs for the vehicle, fuel. We have my hourly rate. We have insurance. Insurance costs, fuel costs are going up. Typically, when I drive for 10 hours a day, I'm putting about $35 to $40 of fuel, petrol, into this vehicle. I keep the receipt. I turn it in when I do my timesheets, but you do the math, okay? It costs a lot of money, and a lot of people don't understand this. It's a little bit different in the UK. You can pick your instructor. You may have 10 lessons, 15 lessons, 20 lessons, but the cars don't run on air. Okay, even if we have an electric car, you got to get it charged up. Good question. Are you turning your head when you identify targets? Going to the left. Identifying target, double yellow. Are you turning into the wrong lane? What's the wrong lane? If we're making a left turn, you turn in the nearest lane by the double yellow. I keep telling you this. What does that mean? You keep your turn as short as possible. When you're making a right turn, you turn to the curb lane. If you're by the curb, if you're making a double right turn, stay in the lane you go into. Do you stay in your lane? Do you finish in your lane? Do you start in the middle lane and drift to the left? Automatic failure. You just cut off a car. Okay? There's so much information here. You're learning every day. Next, this is backing and straightening up. Vehicle control when backing up straight. Do you have vehicle control? Are you backing up straight? Or are you going to the left? Are you going to the right? Next, searches mirrors over shoulders and select target. The target, if you're backing in and that's the reverse bay park, he did that okay, but he was still looking at his backup camera. I said to myself, this guy's going to fail. I could tell because he didn't have the confidence, listen to me, the confidence to look over his shoulder. He barely got to reverse bay park, but he got exposed on the reverse parallel park. Next, vehicle control when backing up and turning. He did not have that. Next, steering. Are you balanced? Do you use 8 and 4? Do you use 9 and 3? Whoa, 9 and 3? Isn't there an airbag? I'm reading from the state standards. Every country's different. Many people in the UK, we do hand to hand. I get it. In the United States, a lot of drivers do hand over hand. And according to the National Highway Safety Administration, peer reviewed, they say 9 and 3 or 10 and 2 is still the best way when you're parallel parking, when you're making a right turn. We know there's an airbag in the middle. We're not trying to blow off our thumbs. Next, AAA said 7 and 5. Peer-reviewed articles. I'm not just pulling stuff. I do my research. Look at some of my links. Look at my descriptions. I'll tell you where the sources are from. Next, do you properly use your hands when backing? That guy was not. He was just turning the wheel. He really wasn't going anywhere. And it really was sad because he wasn't properly trained. Had his nice glasses on, had his braids in, looking sharp and crispy, but couldn't drive. Now he's going home, right? Sad. Uses proper push-pull. There's a time for push-pull. In the UK, push-pull, they're driving a manual. I'm shifting gears, okay? If my steering wheel's on the right, I'm shifting with my left hand. If we're in the United States, my shifter is in the middle, my steering wheel's on the left, I'm shifting with my right hand. If you don't have clutch control, you will lose points. If you don't have braking control, you will lose points. Many of these content creators in the UK make a big deal. Well, they don't have clutch control. Well, if you don't have brake control, same thing. Automatic versus manual. Just a little bit more work. It's not magic. Okay, I'm trying to tell you this. You need to be listening to what I'm saying, but many of you are not. This is bringing you value. Give it a thumbs up. Uses hand over hand when appropriate. Real talk. We talked about visual skills. Turnabouts. Minimum of 2 left, 2 right, and 1 turnabout. We in the United States, we do the standards. Don't think, the United States drivers are horrible. I would never say that to my UK or Australia, or Middle Eastern brethren, or Indian brethren. We all work together. But yet there are people out here saying, oh my God, look at how they're driving. No, you'll never see me do that because I am a good person and I will explain what's going on, what's going right, what's going wrong, and there's a different approach. Finally, do you select the best lane? You'll get marked down. Do you check traffic and signal? You'll get marked down. Do you verbalize adequate gap for maneuvers? Are you pulling on in front of cars? They're not going to tell you, okay, go ahead and make your left turn. Okay, go ahead and look over your shoulder and merge. They're just going to sit in that passenger seat and mark you. Either you're going to come out and not look over your shoulder, or you're going to come out and check your shoulder. Period. But that one client, he's not my client, excuse me, he didn't even get out of the parking lot. Lesson learned. Do you complete your turn in the appropriate lane? That's other information that I will go over next time. If you enjoyed this, give it a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. Bye.